You believe your ambition is strength. You tell yourself you are driven, disciplined, relentless. But watch what happens when results delay. You refresh the dashboard, you check the metrics, you reread the email, you replay the meeting. Your mood shifts with the numbers. Your confidence rises with praise. Your energy collapses with silence. That is not strength. That is dependency. You do not lose stability because you care. You lose stability because your identity is tied to outcomes you do not control. And every time reality refuses to obey your timeline, your nervous system interprets it as threat. You call it high standards. In truth, it is emotional attachment disguised as ambition. And attachment always makes you fragile under uncertainty, and that fragility has a structure. The mind is a command structure. When command is internal, effort leads. When command is external, outcomes lead. And when outcomes lead, identity becomes conditional. Notice the internal script running beneath your ambition. If this works, I'm progressing. If this fails, I'm falling behind. If this succeeds, I'm worthy. If this collapses, I'm diminished. Now, ambition is no longer strategic. It is psychological survival. You are not building. You are trying to secure emotional safety through success. And when success becomes emotional oxygen, uncertainty feels suffocating, so you tighten. You overwork in panic. You obsess over timing. You chase faster results. You compare constantly. You catastrophize small delays. Not because you lack discipline, because you fear irrelevance. And fear leaks. It leaks into your posture, your tone, your urgency, your decisions. Power requires stability under uncertainty, but outcome dependency makes uncertainty feel like danger, and a mind that treats uncertainty as danger cannot operate calmly, which is why the cultural advice about ambition misleads you. You were taught, want it badly enough, and you'll achieve it. That sounds empowering. It is psychological sabotage. Intensity of desire does not increase control over probability. It increases emotional exposure to variables you do not command. Market shifts, other people's decisions, timing, biology, luck. Yet your nervous system reacts to these variables as if they threaten identity. So when something slows, you interpret it as personal failure. When feedback is neutral, you interpret it as rejection. When outcomes stall, you interpret it as collapse. You do not fear the result. You fear what the result says about you. And that is where ambition mutates into anxiety. You start making decisions not from clarity, but from urgency. You rush launches. You force conversations. You overextend energy. You sacrifice standards to secure speed. You call it hustle, but your breathing is tight. Your thinking narrows. Your patience disappears. That is not hunger. It is attachment, and attachment always distorts judgment. Over time, that distortion reshapes identity. This is where ambition quietly turns against you. Because repeated outcome attachment rewires identity. First you desire the result, then you prefer it, then you need it, then you cannot imagine stability without it. Now every delay feels like humiliation, every obstacle feels like exposure, every setback feels like proof. You are not enough. And here is the dangerous shift. You begin making decisions to protect ego, not to optimize strategy. You choose short-term validation over long-term leverage. You prioritize applause over skill. You panic under silence. Humans can sense this instantly. The one who needs the deal more loses leverage. The one who needs approval more loses authority. The one who needs proof more loses power. Because need creates asymmetry, and asymmetry transfers control. This is why Stoic law becomes necessary, not philosophical, necessary. Epictetus divided reality into two domains. What is within your control, what is not. Outcome is not yours. Timing is not yours. Other people's reactions are not yours. Effort is yours. Preparation is yours. Discipline is yours. Marcus Aurelius carried empire-level responsibility. But his anchor was internal. Effort is mine, character is mine, decision is mine, result is not. From this emerged three structural disciplines. First, direct ambition toward execution, not outcome. Second, measure yourself by consistency, not applause. Third, release results immediately after action. Prepare fully, execute cleanly, detach instantly, no replay, no bargaining, no emotional collapse. Detachment is not lowering standards, it is removing instability, and instability is the real enemy of performance. Here is the principle most people resist. You must be emotionally stable before the result arrives, not after. If you wait for success to calm you, you are already dependent. True detachment means this. Before the launch, you are stable. During uncertainty, you are stable. After success, you are stable. After failure, you are stable. Because your identity is anchored to discipline, not probability. When you say, I need this to work, you tighten. When you say, my job is to execute correctly, you steady. That shift changes physiology. Uncertainty no longer threatens identity. It tests preparation. Preparation you can control. Outcome you cannot. When ambition is anchored to discipline, performance sharpens. Panic reduces cognitive bandwidth. Detachment preserves it. Panic creates urgency. Detachment creates precision. Precision compounds. Panic burns. Ambition without detachment creates anxiety. Detachment without ambition creates passivity. But ambition anchored to discipline creates power. If your identity rises and falls with results, you are adjustable, and adjustable minds cannot scale. When you attach identity to outcomes, you surrender command to probability. Probability was never yours. Character was. If your stability depends on success, you are fragile. If your stability exists regardless of success, you are sovereign. The result may fluctuate. The disciplined mind does not, and the mind that does not fluctuate cannot be destabilized. If you're committed to emotional control and psychological command, subscribe and stand with this community. Like the video to support content that builds mental armor, and comment Titan in training if you're serious about growth. Let's build pressure that forges strength. Strength grows in silence, but Titans train together.